Greetings, beautiful people. Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to Your Thoughts. Welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. I hope you guys can see me okay. Hey, Daryl. Hey, thank you so much. I did receive your funds for everybody got paid, Daryl. Thank you so much. How are you? Hey, Mo. Hey, y'all come on in. Come on in. Y'all, we got a hot topic today. We're going to talk about some juicy stuff. We're going to have this conversation. This is going to be an adult conversation, a grown folks conversation, right? So you have any kids, get them out the room because we're going to be talking. This is an open panel and I want you guys to feel comfortable. You can come on in and talk to me on this topic. Okay, so here's the name of the topic, y'all. You guys, y'all see y'all see the title. It's called Forbidden Fruit, right? So, forbidden fruit. Entitled this topic or this live stream "Forbidden Fruit" simply because it seems to me that it's a lot of our people that do not know what boundaries are. Right? We seem to have lost our way as people. We've got caught up into some of the rules, regulations, and laws of this land and this world. Okay, and so I'm just here to bring everything back around to you guys and let y'all look at it and give you a different perspective. Okay, let me see. I feel like I'm kind of sideways on this thing right here. I feel like I'm going sideways. Look, my glasses feel like they're crooked and everything. I had scheduled this live for 1 o'clock, but it seems like I keep getting delays. I have to go push it back a little bit and a little bit, back a ways. But I just want to make sure that I get you people, some of y'all, to listen to what I'm saying, and some of you guys are going to catch the replay. All right, and that's okay too. I want you guys to just listen to the whole live stream to the end, and I promise you, you're gonna get something out of this. Okay. Now, everybody knows. I want to make a disclaimer. Excuse me. And this disclaimer is okay. I know there's a lot of stuff going on YouTube, and I hear all of this chatter and what's going on. All right. This live stream is not directed at an individual person. It is not. It's directed at any and everybody that's doing the things that they know that they should not be doing. It's not no one person. It's including males and females. I am talking to this world. I'm talking to everybody at the sound of my voice that can hear this. I'm putting this out on air. All right. I'm calling this live stream Forbidden Fruit. Right. And the reason is because, again, we as people have gotten this life twisted. And I want to see if I can straighten it up a little bit for us. Okay. And who am I to straighten it up? You're going to find out later on. Okay. Okay, basically, I'm a person that's been through life experiences that have seen things and seen the trauma and the disruption and the chaos that it has caused when people bite the forbidden fruit. You guys heard about the forbidden fruit when you talk about Adam and Eve and how Eve bit the apple, okay, and then she became gained knowledge. That's what the Bible tell you all. So she ate the apple and she got all this knowledge. She got stuff that she shouldn't have had her hands on because she was told not to do that, right? And when you're told not to do something, and when your gut feeling and your spirit God tells you not to do something, that means you don't do it, male or female person. If you're a human being, you do what the God in you tells you to do, right? Especially if it says no. All right. So I entitled this forbidden fruit. Okay. Tongue tied. All right. So let me say hey to everybody again. Hey, how y'all doing? How you doing? I'm going to have someone come up here too because everybody have a story on this topic, right? Okay, first I want to say this. We got a whole lot of people that we say we grown. I want to ask you guys, what is grown in your opinion when we say that we are grown or we are adults, right? Right? Because I think that right there has blurred lines when people say that they grown. And the reason why I said it is because the law here in the state of Virginia, you're grown when you are 18. At one time, it was 18 years old, and now you consider grown at the age of 21. So they seem to always change the bar as to or raise the bar as to how old you should be when you consider yourself a grown individual, where you can make decisions on your own and live on your own and all this kind of stuff, right? So they sometimes change the bar, right? So if they change the bar, what do you think that means? I mean, who give them the validation to do that, right? How can you be 18 grown at one time, and then when the lawmakers decide, oh, 18 is too low, you 21, or they can drop it back down to 14 that you've grown when you can make a decision. Do that make any sense? First of all, do that make any sense to y'all? Because if they can't decide, these so-called lawmakers can't decide what's grown. I mean, what do you do? Right? Hello, hey Denise. Hello, hey Valentina. Hey, I'm glad y'all can join me. I'm really glad y'all can join me. We got a hot topic today. We got a really hot topic. Okay. This is another thing I want to talk about. Now, let's get this clear. Just because you have a woman, a girl, a little girl, and she has breasts, pubic hairs, and she's had a menstrual cycle. She started her menstrual cycle. That doesn't mean that she's grown, right? On the other hand, just because you have a male child and they happen to have that little chest expand, some male boys when they grow up, they have breasts and they be tender to the touch, and then it spreads out as they get older. Then they get the little facial hair, one or two little peach fuzz up underneath there, and they make that voice may change a little bit. First it squeaks when it's 12, and then when they get like 13, it started getting a little deeper. See, that don't make them grown either, right? So just because the appearance of a person makes them look mature, it doesn't mean that they're mature. The society says, or science says, that a person's brain does not fully develop until their age 25. So if a person's brain don't develop until they're 25 years old, then how can you be considered grown at the age of 18 or at the age of 21? Make it make sense. See, you have to make it make sense, right? And another thing, it's so much into this topic right here and how we perceive things to be. If if you go on a if you can look at it this way too, all of the foods and stuff that we're eating nowadays, right in 2023, if you notice, it has a whole lot of hormones and stuff in it. We know that there's a lot of stuff in our food that's not natural and not supposed to be in there. And that's not saying anything bad because we know it's not natural because they have this place called Whole Foods. Like places like that you can go get food. Well, if you go into a Whole Foods to get your groceries, then what's some other foods grocery stores called? Half of foods, less than food. What are we eating to make our bodies develop faster than what it should be? Right? So we're all living under this false pretense. In other words, sometimes you can have people's body fully developed, and it's because of the foods that they're eating, and their minds are still immature. What do? Do you take advantage of that situation? No, you're supposed to know better. You're supposed to know thyself. That's a very important to do. Know thyself. And just because you can have sex and have babies, it don't mean that you're grown at all. At all. Life teach you. Life experiences teach you. When you go through experiences in life and you start learning what to do and what not to do, that's when you know you grown. When you start learning what to do and what not to do and not making the same mistakes twice, that's considered moving towards maturity in a matured way. Okay? So we can get off all of this stuff about what these people are telling us as grown. Let's stop all of that because all of that is excuses to do what you know better, what you know you shouldn't be doing, males and females. Now, I'm going to tell you the story real quick. Then I'm going to drop the link and let you all come on in and join in and tell me your stories. It's a lot of stories that I can tell you about things going wrong because we had these people that thought they were so grown, right? For example, my baby brother was 21, 22 years old, getting ready to turn 23. Okay. And we have family friends over. My aunt, which is with my mother's sister, she had a girlfriend. They were the same age now. Now, my mom and my mom's sister, think about it. My mom's sister had a girlfriend. They were the same age. The age of my mother, sister, and the girlfriend were the same. She was 36 years old. I wrote the date there because I wanted to make sure. I called my mother to make sure of her age. She was 36 years old, right? All right. She was around the family. We used to have cookouts and all of that stuff, have a good time partying. And she was a part of the family, right? She was almost like an aunt to me, right? And my brothers and sister, right? Well, One day, my brother decided he wants to move out the house because he felt like he was grown, right? So my father, being the father that he is, carry your ass. You grown, go ahead. So he goes, right? Come to find out, she, the friend of my aunt, the girlfriend of my aunt, family friend, 36-year old, she took my brother in. She lived by herself, no children, no nothing. She worked every day, hard working woman and everything. Had her own place, all of that, right? My brother moved in with her, and they were girlfriends and boyfriends. Now, think about that. A 36-year-old woman with a 23-year-old young man, right? Two supposed to be consenting adults, two grown people. I told you in the beginning of the live stream that they said that your brain is not fully developed until you're 25. My brother's 23. This woman is 36. Does that make it a right situation? Was he grown? Is he grown? Just because he had the hairs, the bass in his voice, or whatever, right? No, because the maturity level is totally spaced. At 36, is nowhere in the world a 36-year-old woman and a 23-year-old man can have an adult conversation. Not for real. And needless to say, that lasted for, oh, I'd say about 6 months because it was the thrill. Of course, the young boy with the older woman, and she got this man, and she bought him all kinds of stuff, all kinds of clothes. And he didn't work. He used to be a hustler working all the time. She got him to stop working and treated him just like she was kind of like his mother slash girlfriend slash lover, all of these things, right? The shit don't work out. You see, that's what you call unequally yoked. It's a reason why that word is prevalent in the Bible. Unequally yoked. That meaning two people need to be on the same page, need to have the same kind of togetherness, the oneness, mentally, spiritually, and physically. If you don't have that, you have no relationship. You have nothing. It's just a thing. And we need to start calling a thing and a spade, right? It's a bunch of bullshit. So stop fooling yourself, right? And some people may say, well, back in the day, my great great grandmama and she got married early. She was a teenager, and my great grandpa was older, and all of these things, right? That's a different story. That's a different story. They ate differently back then too, right? And most of the times then, when you don't know better, you don't. When you know better, you do better, right? Do that make it right? I don't think so. I don't think so. Did that relationships work? More than likely it did. But were there problems in the relationship? You better bet it. Why? Because they still was unequally yoked. It don't mean it was right? It don't mean that. Okay, now I'm gonna say hello to everybody. Hey everybody, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna let you some of you come up. Hey Valentina, would you like to come up? And Mo, y'all can come on up. Yeah, because I definitely want to talk about this, and I want to make sure I don't miss something. It's something else I wanted to say before we get started. Hang on one second. Oh yeah, and another thing, excuse me. I know y'all heard probably y'all might have seen Kwame's live stream today, and Angela Stanton came on and she said pretty much everything that I've said in many of my videos about having sex and when men and women have sex and how you're not supposed to have sex with everybody because it's a spiritual act, and that if a woman have sex with a man and stuff like that, they really become as one. He leaves some of his DNA in her. He becomes her, and she started taking on his characteristics. And likewise, because women are creators. Y'all remember all those videos that I've been talking about? She pretty much said exactly what I said verbatim today when she came up on this panel. But I'm telling you, this is all true. It's all true. We have been commercialized and looking at these commercials and looking at sex as being this lustful thing, like we got to act like animals. You have to have self control when it comes to your person, your body. Don't worry about the next person's body, your body. You have to only can you can only be in control of yourself, right? And when you have sex with a person, it's supposed to be for the sole purpose of creating. It's not for your pleasure in that way. It's only for creating, right? Animals don't just have sex because they just feel like having sex. They have it for creating. We're a different type of species, of course. I'm not calling us animals, but we're a different thing. We're supposed to be superior to the animals, right? And if we're doing something against what our nature is, it's going to always turn out bad. We're going to always be on the wrong end of things. Always. It's never going to fail. When you go against the grain, it will fall. Everything will fall. You can have that. You can do have sex too early. You have babies coming out deformed, have problems. That children have sickle cell, different types of diseases because the blood's not mixing, because y'all haven't taken the time to know people's family history, all kinds of things. So it's very important that you take your time and pay attention to who you are going to mingle your body and your spirit with. Again, sex is a spiritual act. Now, I'm going to open the panel. Okay. Yes, I remember talking about that a while ago. Yes, and DNA does transfer. It sure do. Yeah, and you grow your own food. Then you know what you eat, and then you don't have to worry about all these tainted things that messing up your chemical balance in your mind, right? Because your mind is a terrible thing to waste. You know better than to mess with a child. You know better, old woman and old man, to mess with old, people, grown folks. Oh, and this is another thing I want to say, so I don't forget this. Listen, I have a daughter and I have a son. And although both of my children are so-called grown, I don't give a damn how grown they get. My son is 27 years old, and if he even told me that he has some woman that's almost twice his age, talking about going with him and marrying him and laying up with him and having sex with her and all that stuff, do you think I would approve of that? Hell to the no. I'm gonna tell you straight up, no. Why would he do that? Why would he want that? Why can't he find somebody that's on his same path? Because this world is a big ass world. One thing that you need to know. The people that you're around, these little group of people that you're around right here, if you can't find something right there, spread out. This is a big world. It's somebody out here for you. Be patient. Be patient. Take your time. Love grow, life grow, and you grow. I would definitely tell him hell no. And for my daughter, I would do the same thing. I would not approve of it. Well, but and here's another thing. And I'm going to express my opinion to them. I won't badger them with it. I'm going to simply tell them how I feel about a thing. Will I mistreat the person that they want to be with? No. But would I voice my opinion to that person? You most definitely, damn right I will. I will pull that person to the side and have a private conversation, nice and neat, with that person, and tell them why I object to them, him or her, messing with either one of my children. Then it will be out of my hands. Because guess what? It's my job as a parent. It is my job. I don't give a damn. As long as I got breath in my body, they're going to know how I feel about a thing, right? They're going to know. And then I back off. Then it's on them. Do I be in the background to say I told you so? Well, if something go wrong, no, because I know that something's go wrong. I'll just be in the background to catch them when they fall. And that's what all parents should do. So for you mamas and you daddies out here to have children, if you have stepchildren and some more shit, I don't care how the relationship is, watch out for your children. Pay attention to your children, because people that think that twisted way, they're everywhere. And don't blame them. Why? Because some of them don't even know better. See? Because they won't talk any better. So, but once you know and you hear a thing and you know that something is wrong and you do it, shame on you. Shame on you, male or female, male or female. And everything you touch is going to go straight to hell. It's going to be cursed. Trust and believe that. And why can I say that? Because I just gave you an example of my baby brother and that thing what happened with him. It's many of stories like that that I know of in the 60 years, almost 61 years that I've been living. See, that's why I'm here to tell you. Okay. Hey, everybody. Hey, oh, thank you, Matthews. Thank you. Look, I'm gonna drop the link and let y'all want to come up here and we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about uh, this touchy subject. And again, it's not about no one person. It's just not about no one person. It's about all the people that act in this way and act in a way and touch people or touch the forbidden fruit, knowing that it's not right. It's for all of the people that can hear this. Just make sure y'all understand that and make sure I'm clear on that, because there ain't no one or nothing. Okay, dropping it. All right, copying it. And we're gonna get down here. And like I told you, I'm getting good at this. I'm getting good at this. All right, and there I go. All right, now we got the link. It's in the chat, and you guys can come on up and we can talk. I had my first child at 15. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I can dig it, Daryl. I can dig it. I can dig it. I'm sure you didn't. And I know if you could do it all over again, you would not get rid of the child, but I know you would do something better. And see, and that's the thing. When you do something like that or something like that happens in your life, that's why you can sit here in this chair where I am or in your space and tell somebody else that. See, that's what give you, that's how you know you're grown. You had experience, you've been there, done that. And most of the time, when elders, I'm talking about elders with common goddamn sense, will come up here and talk to people. Like I try my best to talk to you. I'm trying to save you from yourselves and mistakes that I have seen. And some mistakes I may have made my own damn self. I'm telling you about my life experiences. And everybody's life is different. Everybody have different experiences, which is true, but I can tell you some things that didn't work for me, right? Or other people around me. And if they are similar things, I don't care how you tweak it. Wrong is wrong. If one plus one is two, you can't make it three. I don't give a damn how you do it. You just can't. Some things is what it is, right? Okay, let's see what we got on here. I'm gonna read y'all. Okay, there go the link right there. Valentino or anybody, y'all can you can drop, you can take it, baby. Hey Matthews. Hey y'all. Yeah, but this is really a I think this is really a touchy subject because some people may get offended by the subject, but I'm just saying you a child is a child and an adult is an adult. Even when we were growing up, children couldn't be in the same room that adults were in when they were talking. Everything ain't for everybody. It is separation. It's stages in life. Everything goes through growth stages. Everything, you know. And as you grow, as you get older, you still going to different stages. You still don't know everything. You still don't. So that's why you have to be open to hear. You can hear, and like I told y'all, a child can teach you some things. A drunk can teach you some things, right? You can still learn. Okay. Did you see it? I think she might be trying to take it because she have problems with her phone. But yeah, anybody can take the link if they want to. Oh, okay, I see you. Okay, I see you. Hey Mo. Hang on, baby. I'm gonna add you to the stream.
Why is
Okay.
my thing paused? Can you see me or is it
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you now. It
like I
just
can't
popped
see
up.
myself?
Can you see yourself?
Mm-mm.
I can see you clearly. What am I doing wrong? I can see you both places in the back and on top of the screen.
Hold on, let's see.
Okay, take your time. Then I see your emoji.
You can see me.
I can see you doing your head side to side. Yes. I don't know
Okay.
why you
Well,
can't see me.
I just have to talk blind. It's like, I want to see what I look like.
You look cute. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. You see that the topic forbidden fruit? Have you been listening in?
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been
Oh,
listening.
cool. Well, what do you think about forbidden fruit? What do you think about when it's grown to you? That's one of the questions. When is the right time to have sex? Uh, what do you think about some of this stuff? Um,
Hold on 1 second.
I know,
Well,
right?
I,
It's a
I
lot.
mean, I think it's something to be talked about because I feel like we need a refresher, you know,
Uh-huh.
perhaps. And, I know what you were saying about what society deems to be an
Uh-huh.
acceptable age of maturation. I think that's a good key point to hit because a lot of people do things that in their minds are wrong, but they
Mm-hmm.
justify it by, it's under the letter of the law. But,
Mm-hmm.
as we know, and as you said before, just because something is the law doesn't make it right. Because you said multiple times, like slavery, Jim Crow, those things used to be the law, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think um, we need to get back to using our moral compass.
That's the major thing I think too. Is that more as how do you feel within you? Because we have that voice in us. We have that voice in us to say we got two voices inside of us. We got the one that we want to hear and the one that we know we should be listening to. And every time we go against that grain, it messes us up. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That
Yep.
moral compass is deep. It's a deep thing, and it's there for a reason. It's in you. It's just like I told you before. Just like you can trust that. See how you in your car. If you get lost, you gonna ask Siri which way to go. Ain't you gonna ask Siri which way to go? You have a built-in Siri inside of you, so you already know which way to go. For real, for real. You know what street look better. You know whether you should turn right or left. Especially
Yep.
if you see a damn roadblock sign going down the road, you're gonna turn the other way, right? So we do know what we're supposed to be doing. We just try to pacify ourselves and we try to make our rights wrong. we have a lot of right fighters in this world. Everybody want to be right. That's why all the wars happen, because everybody want to be right. Those
Yep.
right fighters are deadly people. Deadly. It's okay to say I'm wrong. You did?
I dig. I dig.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Can y'all see me? It seems like it's a little dark right here. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Oh, okay. So hey, hey, Asgiro, how you doing? I'm gonna drop the link again, guys, just in case, But yeah. But
And also,
go ahead, baby.
uh, oh hey, Askira. And also, honestly, I think there's a lot of dirty, nasty people also
Okay.
that hide behind the law. And what's more, I guess, insidious about the whole situation for me is the people that support that. Like you'll see, you know, a woman. Let's say a woman, she's dating a younger man. You'll
Mm-hmm.
see her friends celebrating that, and not just younger man. It's a misdistribution of power, of maturation, and you'll see, her girlfriend's championing that. Talking about, oh, you getting your swirl on, girl, and stuff like that, and she's, having
Wow.
relations with a child. But that's something
Mm-hmm.
that's celebrated, and they prop those people up, they support them, they cheer it on, and then they'll actually, you'll see people go through steps to help these people evade, you know, trouble,
Mm-hmm.
evade the law. Try to, I see people coaching people on the right
Mm-hmm.
things to say. Oh, don't say that. If you can't say something in public, for fear of, I guess, exile, sort of, or
Mm-hmm.
persecution, or
Mm-hmm.
for risk of being in trouble with the law, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. There shouldn't be
Well, yeah.
technicalities involved. That's how I feel.
Right. Well, I think a lot of people date younger people because that's where their maturity level is. Their mental level is right there. And vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think they can have they relate to those people mentally. That's how they, I guess, it's not always physical. I think some people maybe kind of scared of somebody on that level. They may can't handle how to have a good conversation with somebody that same age group. So they will go to somebody under them because they can relate to them a little bit better. They can manipulate them. They can have a sense of control to them. That could be one of the reasons. Another reason is about what they're looking for in a relationship. People have different reasons that they're in relationships. And I've always said, always ask the question, why? Why is this person in my life? Why did I meet this friend? What do this friend want from me? What can I get from this friend? What can we do? What fair exchange can we have with one another? That's the same thing in relationships. You see, people I think subconsciously be looking for that in relationships. So it's a whole lot of reasons why people will go for different age groups or age levels, in my opinion. I think. Yeah.
I
How
agree.
Stella, how Stella got, how Stella got a groove on.
That's what they
Denise
said.
said, how Stella got a groove on. Right? Yeah. Yeah. They got a lot of Stellas out here. But hey, but it's just the way we think. It's the way I think it's all mental. Because I told y'all before too, sex starts first in the mind. You cannot have an orgasm. Let's just be real. You cannot have an orgasm. Two people touching each other, you would not get an orgasm unless it's still something in your mind. They can touch your body all they want to, but your mind have to tell you something about what that feels like. You understand?
Ooh,
So it's
video.
still in your mind. Sex is in the mind, and the more I say that, the more I want y'all to understand that, right? It's in the mind. It's not about the body. But we look at this body, and we have taken this to a whole new level. We have become those other people. And when I say those other people, I'm saying those other people that think that way, that live naturally that way. That's their natural makeup. It's not your natural makeup, black people, people of color. Let's be real, it's not your natural makeup. You have taken on someone else's characteristics and you have twisted that into to make it your own. And that's period. Another reason why I say that you've done that, you have because think about this. What is we look at beauty as being a different thing. Being beautiful as being something different, right? It used to be beautiful to have knotted hair, bushes, and stuff. Now it's beautiful to have perms and stuff like that, and all this other kind of shit in our heads. You see what I'm saying? It used to be beautiful to just be who you are, no makeup, full. You see what I'm saying? And just be a natural woman or a natural man. But we have done so much. I see that you went back down, baby. We have done so much, you know. Hey, Valentina. Hey, baby. Let me see if I got you up here. Hey, Valentina, can you hear me?
Hi,
Okay.
Mrs. Yo, I can hear you. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
baby. How you doing? Look, I'm just running my mouth. What you got on the topic? Well, you know, we talking. Monique's down the bottom in here. Can you see her?
Yeah. Hi, Mo.
And there you go. Go ahead,
Is
baby.
my
Talk
sound
to us.
okay?
Yes, we can sound. I can hear you perfectly. What do you think about? What do you think about the topic about? When is it? First of all, the question was. It's so many questions. What first? When do you think a person is grown? A child is grown, or a person is grown? Let's start there first, Val. Let's see what you think about what's grown. What's considered to be grown?
Well, I I honestly don't know.
You don't know what grown. What you think?
I,
What
I
is say in your state? What state you in? What is considered to be an adult? You know what's
oh,
in your state?
legally,
Yeah, legally.
well, legally it's 18 because you can go and buy cigarettes, I suppose, but you have
Oh,
to be 21 to drink and to gamble. So
oh, mm-hmm.
um, I really am not sure on like as far as the topic of what is appropriate age to
That's
have
something.
sex.
Uh-huh. Keep on talking. That's just my
I
dogs or something.
Oh, that's okay. I don't really have an answer for that. I don't know, but I am leaning more towards your how you look at it because I'm an adult now. I have my children to protect, and I would also look a little side-eyed-ish at my kids and who they choose if they're older because they have been through things that my kids haven't been through as young adults that they have to learn through and go through on their own as opposed to having someone who's already been there influencing them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in certain things, as far as aspects of life.
Right. Can you tell us about the experience that happened that you was we were talking about before that happened with you and your family? If you don't mind sharing that with us,
Yeah,
Val.
yeah,
Okay.
no problem.
Okay. Because I know everybody got a
uh,
story, just like I came about my story. Everybody got a story about what's going with this stuff going on. Go ahead, baby.
yeah, I've had as a fourth grader, I had a neighbor, a sick man who he didn't do how should I say this, he touched,
He
okay.
made advances
And
towards you.
yes, and I'm only a
Hmm.
fourth grader, so what grade is that, about 10,
Yeah.
9, 10,
At
11?
least. Yeah, you was young. Yeah.
And I was an early developer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I was just over at my friend's house. She
Mm-hmm.
was my classmate, my neighbor. Her dad, at the time, I didn't know, her dad was doing things to her as a little girl,
Mm.
sexually, sexually
Mm-hmm.
abusing her.
Yeah.
And there was a moment, I would say maybe 2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
he got me to himself and he touched me.
Mm-hmm.
As a fourth grader, I went home and I felt so nasty because as a
Mm-hmm.
fourth grader, when I was a kid, that was something that adults did. I
Right.
felt
Yeah.
nasty. I was
Uh-huh.
scared. I didn't know if I was
Mm.
going to get in trouble.
Right. Uh-huh.
My friend was going to be mad at me. I ended
Mm.
up confiding into a cousin, an older cousin. She ended up telling that my aunt,
Mm-hmm.
they had left my house. They didn't even get to the corner of our block, and they turned that car around so fast because my cousin had told my aunt. She came back and told my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and my father, who was an abuser, physical abuser of my mom, of us kids.
Yeah.
Um, he was a drug addict. He was an alcoholic. All
Mm-hmm.
of those things. But as soon as he found out that something had happened to me.
Yeah.
And I've made a joke before in the comments about this situation.
Mm-hmm.
The man, that sick man that did that to me, my
Yeah.
father, my uncles, and his cousins, they all waited in the oleanders. We had a wall of oleanders separating our houses. They waited
Mm-hmm.
in the oleanders until that man came home,
Mm-hmm.
and they stomped his ass. That's all I can say.
Right, because
Because
you know,
I
back in
was
the
protected.
day, that's what used to happen to people that mess with children. That families took care of other people like it was a village for real. If that had happened back in the day, I remember a lot of stories of men getting stumped out just because of
Yes,
doing something like that. So that's not
yes,
unnatural and wasn't natural in my generation either.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom and my, all the ladies of the wives of, my uncles and cousins, they were all at the
Mm-hmm.
house. That was a time when it was separate. The women hung with the women and the men stay with the men. There was
Yes.
no, you know, drinking together. The men drank together and the women drank with the women. It
Right.
wasn't
Yeah,
all
that's how it
together.
was.
You know what
Yep.
I'm
That's
saying?
how it was. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
and the
Mm.
ladies, I do as a child remember that the ladies were afraid that their husbands were gonna go to jail, because they were beating this man.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you what, there was not one police that was called, no complaint.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm, mhm.
that
Yeah.
man's wife ended up leaving him and kicking him out because it had
Oh,
came to
she
light
left
that
him.
he was doing that to his daughter.
That's crazy though, but it
Yeah.
happens though. That's the stuff that happens, and that's sad, but it
And
happens. Oh, and
may I
Valentina,
add,
oh yeah, I wanted first. Excuse me. Let me just don't forget to tell us about. Don't forget to tell me about your culture, about the Mexican culture. You were telling me something about that. I found very interesting. But go ahead and add what you want to add though.
oh, I was just going to add to that.
Mhm.
During this time, that man, our neighbor, he also had some. He had sons, but they were older, like 19, 20,
Uh huh.
21, something around that. Um,
Mhm.
one son, he would go and steal the little girl's underwears off the clothesline.
Oh
And
Lord.
they got him for that too.
Mm.
And I'll tell you what, those sons of that man were all big and bad until they seen their dad getting stomped. They were watching out that damn window, didn't
Them
come out
quiet
to
as
save
church
that man
mice, won't
for
they? Uh
nothing.
huh. Mhm. Mm. 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 Mm.
They
It's
didn't
sad.
do they didn't do anything.
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad. That's really sad. Children can't be children. You know, it's really sad. But Valentina, what about you was telling me something else too that I thought was yeah about the culture. You was telling it like the ages that usually that the Mexican culture down in most of the cultures are you were saying they were in poverty and they have a lot of little girls and stuff like that and they put the children out early, the young women out
Yes,
early so they out the house.
yes. I want to be clear that it's not all,
Oh, mm-hmm.
not all,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
the
sure.
people that I have been around, and for me, there is a
Mm-hmm.
difference between Mexican and Hispanics or
Okay.
Mexican
Mm-hmm.
Americans. There's a cultural difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there's actually a clash. Mexicans really don't like Mexican Americans or Hispanics, whichever the correct term is.
Yeah, I've heard
Um,
that. Hmm.
it's just they just don't they clash.
Yeah.
But in my
Is that
experience
sort
and
of like
people that I've
African?
known,
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that sort of like African Americans not getting along with the Africans, or sort of like that, or is it something different? Because I've heard that before. What you're saying.
yeah, I would consider it very similar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
But I can't speak for all, but I have known of a few instances um, from people that I know in Mexico that
Mm-hmm.
older men dating younger girls is it's fairly common and it's not really looked at as a bad thing because it's more of, all right, you got a man who wants to take care of my daughter so I don't have to feed her no more.
Mm-hmm.
She can go get a husband. They're okay with marrying young so that she can have a husband to take care of her.
I see.
I
I see what
wouldn't
you.
necessarily just pinpoint it and saying that it's like as far as pedo behavior. I don't know. I just don't want to put no labels on nobody, but
Yeah, I understand what you're
it can
saying. I
be common.
understand. Uh-huh.
It's very common to have an older guy
Mm-hmm.
with a younger girl.
Mm-hmm. I guess that goes with some different cultures. It's like that. But yeah, yeah, that's just something else to me, you know. Well, what do you think? What do you guys think about men being older and the woman being younger? I'm talking about a grown woman now being younger. Say a grown woman, say she's 35 years old, and the man that she messes, married to or attached with, say he's 60. What do you think about a relationship like that? Would you look at that as being just as deplorable as uh younger, like a maybe a 20-year-old with a 30-year-old young man? Would you look at it in that way as well?
Right
Is
away,
it-
no, not right
Huh?
away. Look, it's funny because I said that. I was like, if I
Mm,
ever get married again, I'm marrying a older man, you know. But I guess that was said in kind of joke, but there was a little truth in there. But
hmm.
after getting counsel from people, there's still a misdistribution. It's still a
I
misdistribution of
have to laugh at
maturity.
you, Bo. I have to laugh at that. You know I do. Go ahead.
Well, my ex-husband, he's 4 years older than me. And,
Okay.
I had my child when I was young too. I was 15.
Uh-huh.
I moved in with him when I was 17, and we
Uh-huh.
got married when I was 18. And my dad actually, before we even moved out, I was staying at the house with my daughter.
Uh-huh.
And my dad basically he was like, "When you gonna take her away from here?"
Oh
Like,
wow.
so kind of, hey,
Hey,
Lovelace,
Lovelace.
kind of what Valentina was saying
Mm-hmm.
about how in the Mexican culture is is not really looked at with a stigma for an
Mm-hmm.
older man to take, and I believe it's the same way in Asian culture too, but I don't want to misspeak.
Uh-huh.
But it's not such it's a taboo thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, he was older when he had me. My dad was born in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked at it like y'all are together, y'all have a child, the age thing or how old you are, I guess that's, sort of irrelevant. You need to,
Mm-hmm.
go on and live your life, have your family and raise your child.
But
So
see, here's the difference between that, though, Mo. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you and the gentleman that you have your daughter by, if y'all and you're 4 years apart, if y'all are raised in the same vicinity and y'all have the same kind of understanding when it comes to that family dynamic, they know you know your family, you know their family. That's a little different there, in my opinion. And that 4 years different. I mean, you got all of this support system with this, right? And that's a four, and you were old enough. You say you how old? 15?
when I had my daughter, yes.
Yeah. But sometimes I don't want to like to call babies no oops baby or nothing like that. But I mean, but when you play around and do grown folk things, sometimes you get grown folks results. Let's just be real. And that's why it's very
Wasn't on purpose.
important. Right. But that's why it's very important to make sure that you are careful with. I know that that's happened already, but I'm just talking in general and to the people in general. That's another reason when we can point out that that's why it's you have to be careful when you make these decisions, right? We have to educate our children. We have to educate more our young children. We have to tell them how to take care of themselves, tell them about their bodies, explain to them if you have to put them on birth controls. I don't always, this light is keep jumping around, but I don't always agree with all these different kinds of birth control methods. But you don't want to have babies that you can't take care of. You have to have a support system that's there for you. Let these children know who that support system is. We have to start talking more to our children. And when I say children, I'm not just talking about the female children. I'm talking about the boys as well. Because for some reason, we look at when someone is abused sexually, we most of the time look at the young girl. But it's a lot of young boys that's being taken advantage of by older women. they're just as bad. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful with the way we look at this thing, and we have to talk to our children, boys and girls, right? That's what I want to make sure I point out too. Yeah. You got anything else to say? You want to say, Valentina? I know she up in there. Her phone be acting crazy sometimes.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, darling. I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I wanted to add to that also,
Hmm.
what you just brought up is sometimes they can put it on the women or
Hmm.
the young girls, not even women.
Right.
Um,
Uh-huh.
I have a cousin also who was, I think he was 19, 20,
Hmm.
something like that. He ended up
Yeah.
messing with a little 15-year-old. He got
Mm.
sentenced to 7 years,
Wow.
and he was
Mm.
a friend of his niece. And I'll tell you, when my aunt found out, the
Hmm.
first thing she said is she was a little whore anyway. They
Oh,
put the
blame it on the
blame
little
on
girl.
the little
Oh,
girl.
wow. Mm. Yeah, we said she fast ass. We used to call the girls fast ass. They fast or frisky tail, fast ass. That's what they used to say. They blame it on the girl. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
sad.
that's how my aunt and my cousins they baby him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they took care of him when he was in prison, sending him money and
Oh,
all that
wow.
type of shit.
Mm.
Like if he did nothing wrong.
So he kind of was
He's out
rewarded
now.
for what he did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's out now. He comes around the family, but
Mm.
he don't get no hug from me. He disgusts me. And
Yeah.
that's a little cousin of mine.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel I can't walk away and leave my kids or my grandkids in the same room with you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have nothing to do with a person like that.
Yeah, that's understandable. That's understandable. But we just need to teach. I just feel like we need to teach our children what maturity is. Talk more to our children about safe sex. Talk more to our children about who they are around. Pay attention to what our children are wearing when it comes to the clothes. Because we moms and dads, we buy these clothes for these children. Not to say that the clothes will make somebody do something to them or not do something to them, but old people in my generation used to say, if you're not that, then take down the sign. That means you're supposed to carry yourself accordingly, right?
Right.
And we shouldn't have our children in situations where they can feel compromised in any way, whether it be around family members or not. My father was the kind of person that when they had Christmas parties on our job, and we were invited as the family, go to the dad's Christmas party, my mom, everybody dressed all up and stuff. They had a little Santa Claus there, a white man with a beard, and wanted us to take pictures on the lap. We couldn't sit on no man's lap. My father, my brothers, nor me and my sister. We couldn't sit on no man's lap. We never sit on uncles' laps. None of our uncles. We
Right.
never did none of that. We were taught not to do that. And we loved them too, and
Mhm.
they loved us. And no, thank God nothing has never happened to anybody in my family, my sister, or and my brother. But I told you my baby brother was with the cousin, the friend of the family. He 23 and she was 36 years old. Yeah, that happened. But as far as anybody touching, feeling any one of us, that never happened. My daddy didn't care who you was. It was no kissing and hugging and sitting on nobody's lap. Uncle, nephew, cousin, I don't care who it was. And when we had sleepovers as cousins, the boys was in one section of the house and the girls was in another section of the house. And they had a chaperone too that would be in each one of those rooms, even with our cousins. That's how we were raised. That's how it was. And that's what we need to go back to, it seems like, because it's too much misunderstanding going. You did? Yeah. What you? Oh, I'm sorry, Mo. I got you down there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm down there. I'm so
Yeah.
busy talking. I was like, you dig?
And I'm like, yeah, I did.
I'm
And
just
and
saying.
but you
I'm
you you
saying.
hit a good point when you
Hey,
said
y'all.
when you asked about my ex-husband and our 4-year age gap.
Uh
Yes,
huh.
we went to school together. He was a
Mm,
senior and I was a freshman. So we
mm-hmm.
kind of came in up under the same system. We were kind of in the same social group, I guess, sort of thing. So yes, there's still an advantage there because of the age, but I don't feel
Uh-huh.
like it's crazy as in, a man who's been out into the world, who's, experienced different things that I haven't even began to see. We were sort of,
Right.
on the same level. So I think
It's a
that also makes
difference.
it a difference
It
too
do.
with how the ages are
Hmm.
split. It could be the same age, but it's just like it kind
Yeah,
it
I
gets
do know.
creepy
I
in a
do.
certain different social. Yeah. So that was a
And
good
here's a
point that you made.
yeah, and another thing too. A lot of you got a whole lot of old men and women, but I'm gonna say both. But they marry. Let's just talk about old man, older man. Older men usually marry younger women because when they already done lived their life, they have other sets of children. Okay, so they had an ex-wife, they got sets of children and all of that. That's maybe grown, maybe the same age you are. Let's just say, for instance, the same age that you are, right? And they'll marry you. But once they get their hands on you and marry you, young woman, your life is pretty much over. When I say your life is over, they are the kind of men, because I've seen this happen more than one time now, so that's why I'm gonna talk about it. These men want to keep you at home with them to kind of cater to them. Because, like I said, they retired, they get in that lounge chair, recliner chair with their television. They don't want to go fishing with the fellows or nothing. They don't want to take you out for nothing. You can't go with your girlfriends or none of that. And as they get older, you are their caregiver. You become that caregiver. So don't think that you're gonna trot around the world and this old man gonna take care of you and he a sugar daddy. If you young women thinking that y'all finding sugar daddies, you're gonna be sugar shit out of luck. Cause that ain't no such shit as that. Them sugar daddies, years ago it used to be like that. You ain't got no sugar daddies no more. Them sugar daddies they're in love with their reclining chairs and that remote control. So you better find somebody around your age that's still as vibrant as you are if you don't want to be a caregiver. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I hear what you're saying, Halima. This is how you do. How you doing, Halima? This is a damn shame right here. She said she had an uncle. Her uncle eyes would pop out his head when she walked into a room, and he'd say, "Turn around." That's some crazy shit right there. Now that's really wild. That's some wild shit. See, men like that, when we was growing up, we didn't have no shit like that in my family. We didn't have no shit like that. Mm-mm. The men was watching out for the young women. Even when we was playing as children, running up and down the street, they were playing as children. It was an old man in the neighborhood. One of our girlfriends' mom had a boyfriend because her daddy had passed. Had a boyfriend. Now this man, right on the corner. He used to sit on the front porch. Now, the woman in the house, we playing up and down the street and everything. He sit on the front porch and his legs going in and out like that, shaking in and out like that. He would sit on the front porch with his legs going. Y'all wish y'all could see it, just like butterflies, kneecaps going like butterflies like that, sitting on the front porch, sitting on the front porch. And I can remember us going to tell Daddy, we run down the street, Daddy. His name was Mr. Fred. Mr. Fred on the porch, and he just shaking. He's shaking. He's shaking. Mr. Fred sitting on the porch like that. Every time we run up and down the street because we got these new tennis shoes, you see, and we got the tennis shoes from the grocery store. We kind of had a little grocery store used to buy them little lollipop tennis shoes. And all four of us and all our neighbors, all the neighbors' kids, we all happy because mom and dad, they don't got paid. And we went to the grocery store and they bought us some little new tennis shoes. We gonna see who can run the fastest. We run up and down the street. Mr. Fred knew that would happen. He way down the street on the corner. We had to run down there to him. And he on the porch, legs just going, just going. And I know when we kept telling our daddy, we told him about that. My daddy had a talk with Mr. Fred. And guess what? We ain't see Mr. Fred no more. No more in that neighborhood. I can't tell you what happened to Mr. Fred, but I can tell you some stories going on in my family about what happened to Mr. Fred. Our people didn't play that when we were growing up. So I'm just saying, this generation now done got so loose and trusting our children with all kinds of strangers and shit. It need to get back to some law and order. And I don't mean no harm. And what you call it? I ain't talking about calling no police, and I ain't talking about no violence and no harm on nobody. But I'm saying we need to get some law and order back in our communities. See, we need to stop all this bullshit and getting commercialized and getting in where we fit in with these other folks and start taking care of our children, females and males. And we need to start checking some of these Negroes and female niggerettes, or what I call them, the woulda, coulda, shoulda niggas and the woulda, coulda, shoulda nickies. We need to start checking some of these biatches and get them straight and let them know hands off of the children. Children should be off limit. And what is a child? A child is somebody that do not have their own shit together. They don't pay for their own roof over their head. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not feeding themselves. A child is somebody that's not independent and that don't. Okay, in other words, if a child need that mom and daddy to pull up the end for them to live day to day, then they goddamn children. Let's just make that clear. So there shouldn't be no mistake about what a child is. You understand? I'm just saying, it's enough of that shit. Some of the stuff that's going on in our community can be eliminated. But we need all people and all hands on deck to get back into the communities and keep your eyes open and pay attention to your children. And for you mamas that got these boyfriends, now I'm getting ready to get in my bag now. For you mamas that got these boyfriends with these what you call it, not your baby daddies, but them two, them baby daddies, and the new ones that you get when you don't have the baby daddy no more. You got another man coming in there, the step daddies and the step baby daddy or the step somebody. Look, cut all that shit out. You don't have to have a man like that. If you're gonna be with a partner or something like that and want to have sex with this man and be with this man and all romantic with this man, leave your child over your aunt, your sister's house, somebody that you can trust, and then you going on with that man. Don't have them men around your babies, your girls. And for you girls, for the men, don't have them women around your boy child either. Because y'all think it's just y'all doing that shit. The men just doing it. But you got a lot of tricky bitches out here doing it too. Pay off the children and pay attention to your damn children. Because you have people that's not matured in the mind for whatever reason. They think that children are free game. And children are someone that's not taking care of their own shit. They're not feeding themselves. They don't have a full-time job. They're not put together. They're still running to mom and dad and asking for money to pay a goddamn bill. That's what a child is. Irresponsible. Now, I hope I made that clear. Okay, go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, y'all. I get
I
passionate
I
about
had a
some shit.
question.
Okay, I'm
I got
listening,
a
baby.
question for you. Okay, why do you think? Okay, there was a lady when I was coming up. There was a lady in the neighborhood, and she was a Chester, and she would, she'd be buying PlayStations and Jordans and all this other kind of stuff, and nobody ever called the police on her. She would, you know, be getting the young boys in the neighborhood. It would start with, she would start paying them to take her trash out. That's how it would
Mm-hmm.
start. And then
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, then you see them coming out her house every day with no trash. And then they showing up with new shit. And then one guy was even driving her car. So, and I think he was like 14 and she is a fully grown woman. I think she's in her 40s, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
there was no alarms raised. There was no police call. There was no, I feel like the outrage would have been different if there was a 13 and 14-year-old girl
Mm-hmm.
coming in and out of grown man's house, and
Yeah.
driving his car and him buying, her gifts and things. Why do you think that the outrage is not the same when it comes to the young men that are taken advantage of?
I don't know. Somehow we got to twist it and keep on talking about the girls, the girls, the girls. And I guess because black males, they always go under the radar, if you ask me. Sometimes they seem to be always the lowest on the totem pole because they are really the ones that will help us be the creators. We need them in order to create. So they're less important. They mostly try to pay attention to the black females, the women, But this is probably in every nationality. But the reason why that happened in your neighborhood is because it's to me, I don't care what nobody say. When something go wrong, it has something to do with the parenting. Whoever is that guardian over that child, they dropped the ball somewhere. Because you mean to tell me I'm gonna have my son go to my next door neighbor house and take the trash out? She gonna pay him money, and he gonna come back home to me, and I'm not gonna know what he did with that money? Where the money at that Miss So and So gave you? Okay, what you gonna do with that money, right? What you gonna buy? You gonna buy you some new socks and some underdrawers for school next year? What you getting ready to do? Some school supplies to go toward? What are you gonna do with your money? See, where's the follow up when it comes to the parenting of these children? See, and the little boy for driving the car. If I was the mother, I would get that lady locked up. I would lock her up because if he driving your car, no, we will have a problem. But first, I'd tap that ass in your house. I'll go in your. Let's be honest. I will go in your house with you and act like, oh yeah, hey honey, child, yeah, My son told me that he did that. I'll shut that door in your house and I'll beat your ass. Then I'll call the police and say, she had my boy driving that, and I will go and me The way I was in my day, you could take. I'll go for a ride. Don't make no difference. If you mess with something that's mine, I'll go for a ride. You did. We need to get back to taking care of our shit. You understand? That's where the problem lies. We drop the ball. Keep on letting somebody else worry about somebody else. No, know what your child is doing. Know what they're doing. That's your job. And again, I don't care how old you get. I don't care how. I told y'all I'm 60 years old. I'll be 61. Do you think my mama stopped loving me and trying to pay attention to what's going on in my life? She just as nosy in my life. She's just a part of my life as she was when I was way overseas in Germany and all over the world. She was still calling me trying to find out what I'm doing. You see, we got to stop thinking that they grown and they on their own, and and you just say, okay, well they gone. No, what's going on with you? We got to stop. We got to stop that, y'all. We got to stop that. We got to stop. We got to stop that shit. I'm just saying, we got to stop that. And I don't care. Some of these mamas scared of these children too. Some of y'all got your children raising you. Some of y'all scared to tell y'all children to shut the hell up. Some of y'all scared to chastise your children. You see, but you catch them when they're young. Then when they get old, you won't be scared of them. Some of y'all too scared to talk about your children. Y'all know they're doing a bunch of bullshit. The mamas that have them sons out there slinging that dope and coming home with money, laying up underneath their roof and no goddamn way they don't got a job, and they still letting that child wear them nice clothes. And if they can kick you $100 or something or $200, you pay a light bill, and you think that boy doing something. And then when something happened to him, he gets ass all crossed up in the streets and get his ass all shot up. You the first one at the funeral fall all on the goddamn ground. Y'all, we got to do better with this bullshit. I'm just saying. It starts at home. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Hey, y'all, I'm sorry. Hey, everybody in the chat, I'm just running my mouth. I'm mad. I mean, it gets me irritated. I get passionate about this. I can't stand that mess. And then we wonder why stuff is wrong. What's wrong is us. What's wrong is us. The mamas. The mamas. I know daddies do some shit too, but the mamas. The mama's got to say something too. If the mama say something, the dad'll pay attention. Sometimes the daddy too busy going out there working and ain't got time for them children. He's so busy trying to make money so you can survive and so he can get pay for everything for you that he has to drop the ball. He has a one mind thing. He just focused on making that money so he can take care of his family. The mama, your mind's supposed to be over here, over there, behind here. What's gonna happen tomorrow? That virtuous woman, that's where your mind's supposed to be. Then you can fill him in later. You see? We got to stop it, y'all. We got to save our children. We got to save our children. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, it's all on us. Anybody got anything else want to say? I know I can go. I know I can go because I'm just saying, we keep on making all these excuses. And look, and think about this. All of this right here, all of what we're talking about, when we're talking about how old the person is supposed to before they have sex or what is grown, we're talking about that. Then we're talking about people having sex just loosely with anything and anybody just because you want to feel good. You want that little 5 or 10 minutes of sensation or however long that sex lasts. Then you come out with these babies and have a lifetime of. And when I say a lifetime, I ain't talking about when they get 18 and grown. I'm talking about, again, I'm 60, I'll be 61, and my mama still worried about me. So you got a lifetime worried about you, all because you want to make a decision because you see somebody's ass jiggle, man or woman, because you see some man that's tall, dark, and handsome, maybe smell a little good. See, all of that is dumb. And you say that's grown, your mind's not right. Get your mind right, and the rest will follow. And so will your actions. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. I hope if I offended you, I'm kind of glad because maybe that'll shook something up in you. I'm talking about whoever is listening. I know in the chat offended, but whoever else is listening, if it's offended you, then that's good. Then maybe I have your attention, and maybe you'll rewind this, and maybe there's something click into your ass where you're straight up and fly right, and maybe you could tell somebody something that you don't learn, or you know what I'm saying, and the beat goes on. Truth's supposed to hurt a little bit, you know. What I said? Not 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. Because sex don't last but 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's shit. I mean, hell, you sleep longer than you have an orgasm afterwards, don't you? You more relaxed afterwards, ain't you? Look, don't let Yo get to talking about it. I ain't always been 60, y'all. And I ain't stopped moving all the rest of my parts yet either. Just so you know.
I know that's right.
That shit ain't going. It's still in there. You ain't got to like it, but old boy here, he like it. God damn it, he loved it. 42 years worth of this. He ain't tired yet. Shit. I better go ahead with all that. Don't let me get real on you. Mm-hmm. That's why I can tell you something. I'm just saying. But anyway, right into these, I see y'all laughing. Shit. I'm just saying, old people, my grandma. Let me tell y'all about my grandma. I'm gonna tell y'all this subject, and then I'm gonna stop. Okay, let me see. Let's see what this question is. How are you? Oh, hey, baby. How you doing, baby? I miss you seeing. Oh, hey, baby. Nice to see you, Angie. But look, my father's mom, she was like 86 years old before she passed away, and she was still having sexual relationships with her husband, right? But she would say, "Don't let no man tear your body all up." She would say that. Take care of your body. Don't let no man tear your body all up. Meaning, you have sex and stuff like that, but you don't have to always move when somebody tell you they want to have intercourse with you. You're supposed to be able to enjoy having a relationship with your man. You both supposed to be able to enjoy it. That's what she was saying in so many words. Don't let nobody tear your body up. She would say that, like, don't let nobody, just because you married to somebody, don't let them tear your body up, or you in a relationship with somebody. Y'all supposed to take your time and both y'all supposed to enjoy one another. That's what she was saying. But yeah, she was 86 when she passed away and she was still having sex, just so y'all know. So yeah. Uh-huh. And however you want to look at that. But anyway, who is this right here? Okay, y'all. So anybody want to talk about anything else? Or have I touched everything? Any more comments? Anybody else want to come up? One more chance, and I'm gonna let y'all go because y'all know I don't want to be long-winded. I don't want to lose the point of
I want you to keep talking.
you want me to keep talking? Well, I can keep on talking. Then we'll talk. Well, let's talk. But I'm just saying, what you want me to talk about? Because I'm talking about this thing because I'm talking about this because I don't like I just don't like uh I don't like us getting um off balance, and I just don't want us to mingle with people that's doing things. I'm talking about the lifestyle. It's not ours. It's not ours to be loose goose in it and just free for all of it. And it's our thing is we're supposed to be taking care of each other. I mean, I'm talking about the women supposed to be taking care of the men and the children and vice versa, right? And we're supposed to really be protecting our children. And we would not, if we protect our children and catch them when they're young, then when they grow older, in other words, you teach a child in the way they should go, and they will not go away from it. They'll stay with what they're comfortable with, right? And so then you'll have a child too. That's another thing, mamas. I want to say this too. Always, excuse me, leave yourself open for your children to be able to talk to you about anything. Anything. It should not be any topics off limit for your children to be able to talk to you about. They should always feel comfortable coming to you and say, Mama or Daddy. And I'm saying, if the dad's in here, you know, don't be mad at me, but this happened and I don't know what to do. Help me. I'm sorry. They should always be able to feel comfortable enough to come to you and talk to you about anything, right? And I know in the back of your mind when they come to you with some things, as a parent, you're gonna want to say, "God damn it, I told you, God damn that." Look, just you have a little self-control, take a couple of deep breaths, and make yourself feel welcoming to them so they will be able to come to you, right? Don't tell them all about your problems and your woes because sometimes as adults, we have a whole lot of goddamn issues that we're dealing with as an adult, right? And plus raising children and stuff. So a lot of times we have a way of taking it out on our children indirectly, not even meaning to. They may ask you a simple question, Mom, where my socks? I don't know. You should have had it in the dirty clothes basket. We just snap or something, right? But we're gonna have to pay attention to how we talking to one another around here. You see? And then it'll make them feel a little bit comfortable coming to you talking about anything. You see what I'm saying? We want to keep the communication open. That way you'll know about the teacher that might want to touch the child, whether it be male or female. You'll know whether or not they're having sexual intercourse. You'll know whether or not they're going to cut school or they're tired. You see what I'm saying? You'll know. You'll know. They will tell you. You'll know they want to smoke weed or they have already experienced it or they got a girlfriend that maybe considering hurting herself or harming herself. We'll know. And then, maybe, they might want to tell you about that diary that they write, and they might want to just sit down and share that diary that they've been holding or carrying with them for a long time. And this is the first time you even know that your child even had a diary. You see what I'm saying? We got to make ourselves open to these babies so we'll know what's happening. And so we can know how to protect them and how to guide them through this life. They are going to make mistakes 100%. But it's our job to guide them in the right direction. And when they make a mistake, be there to catch them when they fall. And make sure when they do make a mistake, it ain't one of those big major ones where the hell can't nobody help them out of. And like my grandfather used to say, for us not to let Mr. Blue Eyes get his hands on you. He used to say, do not let Mr. Blue Eyes get his hands on you. What is Mr. Blue Eyes? It's the justice system. See? So we have to do better. Just saying. Okay, I'm gonna chill for a minute so you can talk. I'm listening, baby.
Look, you can see
I'm
my mouth
listening. I'm
moving before
sorry.
you even.
I'm listening. I'm sorry. I'm listening to
I like
y'all.
what you said about the clear people, and
Mm-hmm.
us taking on a lot of the customs of our children. You call them our children, our offshoots. You know,
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's happening. It's gotten turned around to where, like, that's what savages did and barbarians. How
Yeah.
did we start picking up those ways of life and that culture? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
How
all that
long do it
stuff
take
kind
to
of
break
linked.
a habit? How long does it take to break a habit? So they say. So
I
how
don't know.
long does it take to break a habit? I think they say 14 to 21 days. If you can stop doing something, you can pretty much break that habit. And how long we've been amongst those other people? It's been way longer than 14 and 21 days. That's a hard habit to break. See, for
Yeah.
generations. That's why it's up to us to retrain our children. We have to start with when they're young. And even if they're older right now, and if you have an older child that you may be dealing with, that's so-called grown, still, it's never too late to be able to come to them and say, look, as a mom, or I might have made some mistakes in my life with you. And if I did, come talk to me about it. Yeah, open yourself up to hear criticism from your child. Open up some and say, look, I'm not perfect. As a mom, I might have overstepped my bounds in situations with you. Do you where in life have you felt that I failed you? Ask your child that question. Your feelings might get hurt, but then you can also absorb that and kind of roll it around your head and say, damn, what was I going through at that time that I, so-called let my kid down? They may be telling you the truth. Just suck it up and then apologize and say, well, damn, I'm sorry. I did that. And then you see what I'm saying? That's how you keep building relationship on top of relationship and a stronger bond with your children. You see? But we have to be able to admit that we are not always right about everything, that we too can be wrong sometimes. You see what I mean? That we're not perfect. They can understand that. What took I said, if you can do 3 days, uh-huh, from 2 weeks, full moon breaks. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, Takara, I'm into that too. I'm into that too, Takara. Yes. Oh, hey, Lovelace. Am I adding you? Is she in there? Hey, Lovelace.
Peace,
Hey, how
peace
you
and
doing?
blessings. I'm great. How are
What's
y'all?
going on, stranger?
Listen, at running in and out of these schools, I'm getting ready to head to another one now.
Oh, you running?
Um,
Okay.
but listen, I was loving this conversation. I just wanted to jump up here real quick. Hey Mo,
Yes.
hey Valentina. Can they hear
Because you
me?
got the mic
Okay.
squeeze, but you
Oh,
can
that's
hear them. I
okay.
see the
Hey,
mouths going,
Hi,
hey.
Lovelace.
Hey babies.
Yes.
Listen, I wanted to jump in real quick, sis, if that's all
Yes.
right. And
Yes.
just add to the conversation. I
Sure.
am I'm 49, right?
Uh-huh.
And at 40, I had to, after a lot of self-reflection, one of the hardest things that I
Mm-hmm.
had to do was to go to my two boys. They're
Mm-hmm.
28 and 30 now, right?
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
to go to them 9 years ago and just sincerely apologize to them for being a young parent, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Even though I had my oldest son when I was what 19, 20, something like that, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, but just as a young parent, learning myself and
Mm-hmm.
raising them, and
Yeah.
also, you know what I'm saying, trying to stay uh, a parent and what the boundaries of not, their friend
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But just
Yeah.
going through that cycle with them and having to apologize for anything that I may have done, said,
Mm-hmm.
actions, that was one of the hardest things that
Yeah.
I had to do with my boys. But it was so welcoming when they
Mm-hmm.
offered forgiveness,
Oh
and they were
yeah.
like, you weren't a bad mom and stuff like that. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, just the things that I reflect back on with my walk in
Mm-hmm.
self reflection, just reflecting back on those things and saying, listen, I may not have offered you enough. I may not have done enough. I may not
Mm-hmm.
have said enough, but I was working with the tools that I had. But I'm
Yeah.
never too big to say, I apologize, even as their mom. But it was so, when they embraced me with the forgiveness and the understanding, it was a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. It was
Uh-huh.
a beautiful, beautiful
It
thing for
is.
me.
It can be a beautiful thing. We're not always right about everything, and it's okay to say that we mess up sometime as moms and dads. It's okay because we're human, and that's why you want to keep the respect going too. And to believe it or not, when you do your children like, don't you know you open a whole new door for them. You open a whole new door for them to feel more comfortable with you. And so it's a such thing as being a mom and a friend at the same time. It's balanced. And when I say a friend, I'm talking about not a friend in such like that little associates in the street, but I'm talking about a friend as having a listening ear. And it's a friend that's gonna hold some of their secrets and not even gonna tell dad about it. It's just that little private little thing. You know what I'm saying? You just got that little personal thing with that person, right? You ain't got to tell dad everything, even though dad knows that you're not gonna like hold no secret that's gonna be really bad or nothing. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like something small that they may not even know about. Maybe they had like a little conflict with somebody, a little argument in the street or something in school. And they come home and tell you about it. You ain't got to tell the man all about all of that. That's just a little thing that they telling a little mom or something, just so they can release that little stress that they have, because they have little stresses during the day too, you know. But I mean, they just open up a little bit more to you. I found if you come to them like that, you know. What you think,
Ye-
Mo? You too?
Listen, you talking
Huh?
about telling the kids telling the dad everything. So my daughter, it's like my ex, he keeps tabs, and when he
Oh,
talks to my daughter, he's prodding, and I don't know if she's aware, because I'm like, what you tell your daddy? But he be trying to keep tabs on me and stuff. But she
oh,
failed to tell him that she had a boyfriend, okay? And
uh-oh.
she asked me could the boyfriend come over to the house, and
Uh-oh.
it's to the point to where, like you were talking about casual sex, like I told you I recently went on an official date,
Mm-hmm.
you know, after some time, but
Uh-huh.
it was like I'm sneaking niggas over the balcony because I don't want my daughter to see him. And I'm like, I feel like she is my mother because I feel like she's gonna go back and tell her dad. And we're not together, and he don't pay nothing over here. But
Yeah, but
it's kind of embarrassing. I still don't want him to know. I still feel like,
you should be embarrassed,
damn.
Mo. You should be embarrassed. You know why? You know why you should be embarrassed? First of all, it should be no man ever coming in that space where you and your daughter safe haven is. It's the two of y'all, right? So you should be
Yeah.
embarrassed in that point. Whatever man you decide to be with, make sure that nigga, this is not, look, your house ain't no free hotel. Let that nigga pay for a hotel somewhere. Your daughter grown enough to have her own, be in the house when you're not at home. So you make sure he comes nowhere in that vicinity, right? That's what
Hmm.
I would, now, me personally, I wouldn't have no man come into my space. No, you gonna take me somewhere. I meet you, Jack. You ain't got to pick me up. You ain't got to know where I live. Especially if I'm still with, especially if I'm just getting to know you. You don't need to know too much, right? You will meet him
Yep.
somewhere in a hotel room. Make sure you got a girlfriend or somebody that knows that you've been seeing this guy for a while. Make sure they got a copy of his license plate. They know his name. We used to say it, his name, rank, and serial number. Where you go, Mo? Get back up here. Get back up here. Don't you run. You gonna get this.
Wait, wait a minute. Wait,
No,
sister.
she done dropped off. Hey, you gonna get this one. You gonna get this one. I'm just saying.
Wait, wait,
Uh-uh.
sister, real quick. She done
Uh-huh.
look. Mo done
Oh,
hibbity hopped off, but
I'm dropping the link
hopefully
again.
she'll
There she
she'll
go.
she'll
She
come right
coming
back.
back.
Come on back up here, Mo. Come on here.
No,
Boy,
baby.
you
There
done
you go.
shamed me off.
No, I ain't
Talking about you
shaming you
ain't
off.
shit, bitch. Oops,
Oh,
I'm
I ain't
sorry. Who called a
shaming you
cut?
off. You know, hey Mo, you know I ain't shave y'all. No, I'm just saying. No, this is for not just you, but for anybody for real. I'm saying if it were me, for real, he don't have. I wouldn't let no man come in my space where my baby is. I don't give a damn because I don't even. I could know him too, but I mean, I just wouldn't be trusting. I would want him to put me in a hotel. We would go to a hotel or to his place, wherever. But he wouldn't come to
Mm-hmm.
mine. And I'm saying you should have a girlfriend, or one of your girlfriends, or close cousin, or girl cousin, or whatever, to have his name, rank, and serial number, right? Meaning, what his name is, where he lives, his copy of his driver's his license plate number, color of the car. I'm just saying, just for precaution, and I'm talking about just when you first start knowing or learning somebody, these things should be out. And then I would also let my daughter know too, so she'll have that, that information, just in case, I'm talking about being a single mom with not having, like if you just try to come out here and start dating. I ain't talking about somebody that you already done been familiar with. I'm talking about this is just fresh. Say this is a new person. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying this for all of it, not just you. That way you can have a trail of where you going with this. Because people are crazy as shit. You will wind up in a goddamn up underneath a ditch up there where you got to be careful these days with people that people hooking up with. People are crazy. You see what I'm saying? So the more people that know what your whereabouts, where your whereabouts are, and the more information they have, the better off you'll be. You see what I'm saying? And if the nigga get mad at you and the date don't go the way he want to go, he can always come back and find out where you live. Then you got a stock on your hand. You got a whole bunch of shit going on. So this is what I'm calling like a precautionary measure. You see what I'm saying? For these new women that's gonna have new men coming in and stuff, right? And and as far as daddy knowing that baby girl got a boyfriend, I wouldn't say that yet to him, because if she's telling you something in confident that she got a boyfriend and scared to tell dad, don't want to tell dad yet, you know what to do as a mom. You already done checked out the boyfriend and stuff. If you like him and everything like that, and think it's gonna be more than a couple of months, and they may be a little bit serious about getting a little serious in their mind. Serious, you know, at that age, what serious is for that, because it's puppy love. You know how they can work. Um, I don't think I would say anything, because as long as you're on top of that, right? And she living with you, and so, and if Pop acts, then it would be on a need to know basis. If it were me, see what I'm saying? That's how I would do that part. That was you embarrassed mode.
You done
oh,
you done ran me off the
You
panel.
was embarrassed mode. Don't be
Somebody
embarrassed.
stop.
No, it's not just for you. It's
They
for
no.
say them Broncos
anybody.
running
Huh?
motherfuckers in and out the house. No, it's not
Huh?
like that. I don't have
Oh,
people coming in
No.
and out. It was one particular person, and I was like, okay, oh well, I want them to come over. It was like on some late night, yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I don't want my daughter to hear the door opening, because then she
Uh-huh.
gonna get up and she gonna be looking, and I just it's kind of like a little embarrassing. I didn't want her to think I
Uh-huh.
was, just out here all out here slanging it around. So
oh my.
it was
Yeah, but I
like,
mean, shit. I mean, people listen. People do what they do. Two consenting adults do what they do. All I'm
Hmm.
saying is, when you have a child involved in it, male or female, keep them niggas and what woulda, coulda, shoulda niggas, and those woulda, coulda, shoulda nickies away from them babies. I don't care. I don't care, because again, these women, it kills me when I hear women letting uh them children call their boyfriends like daddy, and it ain't the daddy, or uncle somebody, and it ain't the uncle. I mean, it can get to a point where shit start happening when they have them around so much. You see, then the kids all fucked up in the head, yeah, because they're getting the friendship of that, and then you might break up with them. Then what happened to Uncle Joey? Then I have Uncle Joey. Look, keep all that shit separated. Grown folk shit is grown folk shit. Child shit is child shit. That's all I'm saying. And then you want to keep making sure that you're safe by any means necessary, that you and yours are safe, regardless, whether it's a male or a female. Because you guys got some female stalkers too. Let's get on it. You got some women that when they want to be with you, they call themselves coming tipping over to your house. You having sex with them, they fall asleep. The women going through the man's pocket, getting their identification. They checking to see how much money they got. Come on. They looking at pictures and shit that's in there. Hey, come on. They doing all of that kind of shit, right? And then when you break up with them, they got something on your ass. They can go around and go be in front of your house when you pull up in front of in your driveway in your house, mister, and see you and wife and children coming out that front door. Women do some tricky shit too. I'm just saying, keep it separate. I told you I can tell
Very
y'all some
true.
shit.
Look, I'm gonna join in with Mo real quick. Mo,
Hmm.
you don't have to be embarrassed, sister. That's what we do. We go through life and we try different things and stuff like that. Like when me and Babe
Hmm.
first met, when we met in '98, right? I was skeptical about having him come over to the house with the boys and stuff like that. So my little sneaky part would be when the kids would go over to their dad's, right? So he would come
Hmm.
over and visit and stuff like that. So one day they got dropped back off early, right? And Babe was here. And so, I mean, they had seen him court me and things like that and stuff like that. They didn't see him inside the house, but they would see him, pick me up or whatever the
Uh-huh.
case may be, right? So one day when
Hmm.
they got dropped off early, they came in and he was here, excuse me,
Hmm.
and they were like, I knew he wasn't just your handyman. I was like, oh,
Oh wow! So
this
you told the boys it was the handyman. Lord of mercy.
no, 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 no. No, I didn't tell them
uh.
anything except for mom has a friend. I said, Mom had this is my friend. We're gonna go
Hmm.
out on a date or whatever the case may
Hmm.
be. But this particular time, they had never seen him inside the house, right? We
Uh-huh.
would we would be adult and grown up when the kids were, at their dad's, right?
Uh-huh.
So, but this particular time they got dropped off early. So my
Hmm.
boys, they slick at the mouth. They got little funny jokes, and they would be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, we knew he wasn't just your little handyman." That's their own
Uh-huh.
little joke that they had between the two of them. So that was my little embarrassing moment. But
Well, you can tell, it's good to tell the children the truth, though. It's nothing wrong. If you got age appropriate children,
oh
it's nothing
yeah,
wrong with you saying to the child, look, mama going out on a date with Mr.
yeah,
So and so.
hmm,
That's what grown folks do. I'm going out on a date. You ain't gotta tell
yes,
them blow by blow what you're gonna do with the dude, but we going out for a while and I'll be back later and give them that information. And I'm gonna be calling back, checking on you, and you can feel free to call me anytime you feel like it. I mean,
right,
but I'm gonna be back. That's you're supposed to have that communication. Because what the child supposed to do if you don't come back home until the next morning at 6 o'clock? You got the baby at home worried to death, and you don't tell the child what time you coming back home either. You tell them I'll
hmm,
be home after a while. Then that way they won't have your house with the friends over eating popcorn and the girls and the boys having just as much sex in the house as you think you're gonna get out in the street. So
oh
you don't tell them
my,
all of that. But you know what I'm saying. You still get you still let them know that you know what I'm saying. You be back after a while and behave yourself while I'm
absolutely.
gone. You see?
Absolutely. So that's my little embarrassing moment too, Mo. You're not in it by yourself, girl. We all
Mo
have
ain't
been there,
embarrassed. I
done
know
that.
Mo ain't embarrassed.
Look at that
It
smile.
was
That's what I
embarrassing.
was waiting on. I was waiting on that smile.
She ain't embarrassed. I
I
know
was
thoughts and I'm real. I'm talking about some real shit. I don't bite my tongue. I'm talking
that
about real
part.
shit. And I ain't just talking about you. I'm just talking about life and how the way that shit work. It ain't just
That
you. A
part.
whole lot of people do that shit. Hey
That
Halima, what's
part.
up, sugar baby?
Is that
Hey,
Halima?
beautiful. Can you guys hear me okay? Is there echo?
No, I can hear
Hey
you good.
Halima.
What's going on? I ain't seen you in a long time neither. What's up, stranger?
I'm so happy to catch you live. I've been commenting.
Yes.
I just missed you. So I'm happy to see you. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you, thank you. My daughter done convinced me to braid my little hair up like this. I ain't even do the back yet. I just put the little plaits in. She got this little burgundy looking color. Come on, so Mom, this will look good. She into the makeup and all that stuff. So I called myself on, doing what baby girl told me to do.
I
I
love
like
Changing it
it.
up
it.
a
I
little
like
bit.
it. Hey,
I
Taking
love
it up
Lele.
with
it.
me.
Hey Halima.
Yeah.
And
Good to hear you, sis.
thank you and Mo. How
What
are
you
you
got on the
guys?
topic, baby?
So
Hey,
I came in late, so wasn't quite sure have you
Okay.
guys covered I think I came in when you were saying something about when you're an adult when you consider to be paying your bills and taking care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
that's the time that you should be having sex. Was that what you were saying?
Yeah, I said no, you can have sex. You don't have to have sex just because you are out of the house paying your bills. And you don't have to ask your mom and them for nothing. Or you got your own place. You going on about your business, you living your life. And if you decide you want to have sex, then that's on you. And if you're doing it because you want to create, or just because you a little horny little muppy, then that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Then you can call
Right.
yourself a so-called adult because you're doing adult things as far as taking care of yourself and being independent in that way. That's what I was saying. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Do
Well,
you
why
think
would you
that?
say? What would you thinking?
Well, I wasn't sure what your views were on it, but so far
Uh-huh.
as like was having this conversation a few weeks ago about the age of consent, how it differs from, let's say, Jamaica. I think it's the age of 16. Other
Mm-hmm.
parts of the country is 16,
Uh-huh.
18 in certain states here in the U.S. So and
And
does that
21. Yeah.
some are 21 as well? Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
oh wow. So
18 and 21.
18.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that doesn't correlate with what you're saying, which I think has more wisdom to it. When you are an adult, most 16-year-olds are not on their own. They with their parents. They're still in high
No, and
school.
they get some assistance too. They'll get some assistance from the government and all that. You're not grown if you're doing all of that. You still dependent
Mhm.
on something. If you going out here working and and you have a regular job, I don't care if it's McDonald's, I don't care if you raking leaves or something, right?
Mhm.
And you are buying your own food. You're not getting no food stamps. You're not getting no government assistance or nothing like that. You're totally going out here as an independent woman and making your money on a job, a 9 to 5, and you come into your own house where you pay the bills. I ain't talking about no roommate, none of that shit. I'm talking about this your shit, it's your apartment, and you're paying that bill. You're not calling mom and dad if you're getting short on your bill or nothing like that, or you need a car payment or something like that. You're doing it all by yourself, even if you have to get 2 jobs. Then that's what you call grown. That's
Mhm.
an adult.
Yeah,
That's an
I
independent
like that.
person. That's what I call grown. That's what we were raised to be, independent.
Mhm.
Do it on your own. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And if
That's
you
Yeah.
can't
there's
do
some
that, you're
adults
not
who ain't
grown.
grown in.
Huh?
I said that means there's some adults in adult bodies who aren't grown.
Exactly. Because it's the mental, I told y'all, and it also has to do with the mental capacity. Some people have the body of grown. That's what we talked about in earlier in this live stream. You have women that have young women that have breasts and hair administrating, right?
Mhm.
Bodies can most definitely receive a baby because of the foods and stuff that we have eaten and all the poisons that we have put in our bodies. It causes your hormones to mature faster, right? But your brain still don't develop until you're 12 years old, fully developed, right? And just because you can have a baby don't make you grown. You did? Same with the male body. That's what I was saying in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that grown shit is a big thing. And another thing about that grown that I said in the beginning is this. You know, if you have a male and a female and a male and a female, and they call that stuff going with each other. And if you have a great big age gap in between that age, that woman is not on his level, and he's not on her level, and vice versa, right? They don't think it's not they don't have nothing to talk about. They're not on the same page. She might be talking about Barbie dolls, and he might be talking about taking the engine out of a car. You understand? That's unequally yoked. See? So we have to really
Yeah.
be careful on what we consider to be grown, right? And what we are looking for when we call ourselves picking and choosing a mate, a partner to create, not to just screw
Right.
loosely like we've been taught to do with all this commercialized shit because somebody ass is fat or because somebody can smell good with cologne and tall, dark, and handsome. We got to cut that shit out. That's where we are falling and failing because everything that glitter is not gold. Mm. That my computer just blinked out. But you see what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me? I'm gonna put you back up. I can see I'm back here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. But y'all see what I mean?
Absolutely. I think it just gives some greater context because I
Yeah.
think that when we think of sex, we think of, for the most part, there's sexual attractiveness and pleasure, and
Mhm.
also procreation is a part of that as well. Is probably what's driving a lot of what we're doing to some degree.
Yeah. But we
Um,
don't have no
mhm.
self-control, Halima.
Yeah.
We have lost self-control. And that's
Hmm.
why we are out of control because we have no self-control. Sex is about self-control. That's because the wind blow. It don't mean and you get a erection or the wind blow and the woman feel. Come on now, because you went to watch the movie and somebody in love on the movie and they fantasizing because they walking down the mountains holding hands and all this old crazy bullshit. That's not what it's all about. No, that's some shit they put in your head. That's a love story. It's not a love reality. It's not a fact. It's a story that we've consumed ourselves with. All these different types of love stories that's painted for us in this world. On television commercials, everywhere you look, it's a love story. I'm in Virginia. They said Virginia is for lovers. That's the name of the state. Virginia is
Yes.
for lovers. For lovers. Well, I see a whole lot of homeless people out here. I don't see nobody loving on them. See, we got to stop all this bullshit. We got to use our minds. We have to think, right? And have some self-control. Sex is about self-control. You see?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I know, like in some of the Taoist cultures of sex, for those of sexual that teach sexual energy and health, because sexual
Mhm.
energy was never separate from health.
Right.
Somehow we've kind of like compartmentalized health and sexuality, but a lot of like
Hmm.
the priests that we see, um, their whole philosophy says that the men have a lot more like heat, and so they go into meditation more. They don't to achieve that self control over that
Hmm.
hormones and that desire. They meditate more. They go inward more.
Uh-huh. I'm laughing, honey, because my father just spoke to me. And know what my father would say?
What your
The man
father
got a
say?
whole lot of heat. My father would say some shit like this. He got a whole lot of heat. A man got a whole lot of energy. Put a hat on his head and some steel bros on, some jeans. Take his ass out there and start chopping some goddamn wood and go out here and make some money with some trucks. Make some shit move. Burn off some of that energy. That's why so many men now and women slinging shit because they got an idle mind. If you work and do what you're supposed to do within a day's period, if a woman really took care of their children in their household and their man, they'd be tired of shit. They'd be too tired for sex. They'd be too tired. Both people will be too tired to have sex. They will just want to take a shower, eat, and lay that ass down and get ready for the next day. We have too much time on our hands.
So we have
We
too
we
much
have
idle time.
we have too much idle time to fantasize about bullshit. All we think about is sex, drugs, and money. And when I said drugs, I'm not just talking about the smoke. I'm talking about anything that get your head out of your mind. Drinking, I'm talking about all that. We have too much idle time for that shit. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing it,
Hmm.
but we got too much time to do it. We have to have balance. If your ass is on the job and you working and you making something move, you too tired for all that bullshit. You wouldn't care if the woman came to bed naked. You wouldn't care if the man came to bed with a holy drawers on. You wouldn't care. You too tired. And y'all both are working towards the same goal, which is to have a happy family and a happy life, and where you can be comfortable and content and peaceful in your kingdom, which is your space, your surrounding. See? And then when you do make love, it will be beautiful. When both of y'all well rested and y'all got the goals that y'all want together, at least one of them, shit, y'all can celebrate. Ain't no wrong with running the house, children wearing buckling, everything hang out, right? But we got it twisted. We think in the wrong way about shit. See? You understand now? Do that make
I
sense?
do. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You're saying that we have sex as a priority.
Yes.
Most of us have sex as a priority, sexual pleasure as a priority.
It's for a priority. It's simply a priority to get a 5 or 10 or however many minutes you last. And you say an hour, somebody lying, but I don't give a damn how young buck you are. That little few minutes right there, and in those little few minutes, you have to think about it. That could either make you or break your life. Those few minutes could make your life or break your life. So the next time anybody out there having sex with your partner and you fertile and all this stuff like that right there, ask yourself, just time yourself and see how long it'll take you to make your life or break your life. Just see. I'm just saying. Is it worth it? Shit, y'all better look. Y'all better be making some shit moving there. And that sex is the last thing. That's like dessert. That's like dessert. You got to do the full course meal first. The full course meal is getting off that ass, making some move with your partner, building up your surroundings and all of that, getting what you guys want out of life, at least some of the things, coming to a happy medium, being happy with one another and comfortable. taking a bath or a shower or whatever, and then pampering one another and celebrate your accomplishments. That's the dessert. Why you guys, some of y'all, want the dessert before you even did the goddamn thing? Go and make something move, right? All we thinking about is sex and sleeping and drinking and money. That's all. You see what I'm saying? We got to do better, y'all. We got to do better. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Shit. Being self-control, I'm reading the thing. What y'all got to say? Talk to me, callers. Talk to me.
You got me tripped out. I'm like, the no sex thing is, it's difficult, but I agree with what you're saying, and I know you're right. I know you're right, but the thing with me is everything in our surroundings is pushing us towards those things that you just said.
Yeah.
So everything we see on TV and hear on the radio is pushing us towards sex. It's pushing
Yeah.
us towards worshiping money.
Yeah.
It's pushing us towards putting substances in our body to alter our natural states. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult to literally
Because look,
ignore
you're right.
every
Not to interrupt
yeah.
you, Moni, but when some people get drunk, they get horny. Some people get high, they get horny. See?
Yep.
And
But aren't
money
those
makes someone,
symptoms?
huh?
Aren't those symptoms of a deeper issue? The fact that we were trying to medicate ourselves with sex or medicate ourselves with alcohol and drugs
Yes,
and
it is a different
going
symptom.
around
Yep.
with different people, like all that, like what you call it? Like, what kind of sex did you call it? You said something earlier, but it was
What I
funny.
say?
But
I don't know. I said so much shit.
but
You know
all
what
these,
it is?
yeah.
It is different symptoms. Guess what it is, Monique and Halima? Guess what it is? What we're doing is we're finding happiness in someone else and not ourselves. That's why you want to screw all the time. That's why y'all having sex so much, because you're finding pleasure in someone else, not in you. You're finding happiness in that someone else. Now, think about that. Think about it. Some of y'all are not happy with yourselves. And I'm not saying you have to have sex with yourself. I'm talking about sex is a feeling. You see? You get a feeling. You happy, you relax. Just think about how you feel. You get that little tingling, and I told you that little tingling feeling don't last long now. But I'm talking about the overall thing about even
I'm
to
gonna
build up.
challenge you on that 5 minutes, but we're gonna do that a little later. I'm gonna challenge
Yeah.
you on that five
Even
minutes.
but hey, it depends on what time of the month now. It depends on what time of the month, how long your orgasm lasts too. Did you know that?
No, I don't. I didn't
That's
know
for
about
another
the
story.
time.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
we're gonna have a conversation about it
we
because I
sure is. It depends
yeah.
on what time of the month, depending on how long your orgasm lasts too.
Mm.
Everything's a time, and we're on a system here. We're on
And
a system.
how you breathe and how deep you breathe. You allow the breath
Mm-hmm.
to flow through the body,
Oh yeah.
and you
Oh yeah.
awaken these centers in the body that
Mm-hmm.
allows you to feel so deeper. Like a woman's, just for her neurological, psychological, her health.
Uh-huh.
Having an orgasm is very healthy for a woman. Like it is something that opens up her
You break it
female
up a little bit.
creative.
Okay.
Orgasms help to
Mm-hmm.
open up a
Mm-hmm.
deep orgasms help to activate a woman's her own creativity, her own genius, her sense of power, um,
Uh-huh.
her sense of esteem. It's just not about for just popping off. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get that. It really is something
Right.
that's tied because our pelvis is a neural network of nerves that's connected
Mm-hmm.
to our brain. So
Yes.
what we're doing to our womb is happening to our brain and vice versa. So there's a communication that's happening that the men don't
Mm-hmm.
have. They have a different pelvic.
Yeah, they got the
Te-
antenna. Don't
they
don't leave the bins out. They got the antenna.
they got different technology. They don't
They
need
got they
as
damn
much.
sure do. That's right.
It's
That's
not as
right.
complex as our
But yeah,
system is.
but that connection, that's why you have to find the right partner to get that connection. Because every man ain't gonna give you no orgasm. Every man that you slept with ain't give you no orgasm.
Can the church say
I,
amen or what?
every man that
Monique?
you have slept with, you don't have to answer it because I don't
Oh,
want to
okay.
put you on the spot, but I'm just saying, have that's for any woman. They haven't given them an orgasm.
Well,
So I'm just
I
saying.
won't put the onus on the man for a woman's orgasm. I will say that a woman knowing her body, knowing her sexuality, knowing how to
I would.
breathe, has to know herself and her body enough to support that man in that endeavor. So is a woman orgasmic in and of herself? That's the question. Is she orgasmic in and of
And that's
herself?
what she need to be, and that's what she is. She is, but she just don't
Absolutely.
know it.
Right.
She just don't know it. That's
So
why
an
I'm telling
orgasmic
you.
woman, a man come, it's like, you know,
Yeah. But you know, a woman can stay high all day. I told y'all about how to stay high 24 hours. It's a whole lot of things that y'all babies don't know. And I ain't trying to call you babies like to say you know, like, but I'm saying there's a whole lot of stuff that you have to learn. But
yes.
learn this first of all. Make sure you pay attention to this. Don't go giving yourself to nobody willy-nilly. Don't go slinging it just because
Yeah.
you feel like it today. You know, it's
Yeah.
have purpose behind your movements and everything that you do in this life. That's what I'm saying.
I
And
love
then
it.
once you learn, you have to teach them children to say, y'all got to teach these babies, but you got to learn first and teach your children. God damn. Shit, we can work on that. But I'm just saying,
I needed to hear
to
those
work on that.
words. So many of us, I know
I'm just
I
saying.
need to hear your thoughts, words when I was little. Boy, I wish I had you. I wish I had you as an auntie or big
Oh.
sister to tell me those
Yeah,
things
well, look,
because
I'm glad I can tell y'all something though, but I'm just saying, y'all, we just have to do better with this talk, thinking about sex and thinking it's you have to have that. I mean, it's nice to have. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it. But you
right.
have to understand what's the purpose of it. You have to
Yes.
understand that you have to have the right mate to do this thing with. You
Yes.
can't have nobody just all over that don't belong in your space because everyone is not a good fit physically nor mentally. Know what you're looking for. Have your card. Know what your fit is. Know what your check marks is. You can't have a long goddamn list because ain't nobody perfect. But get as close to that list as you can. And that's the thing that you want to keep. And that's the thing that you want to work with. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Work with what you
Yes.
have. And see if you know what I mean? It's better than to just go out here and just picking anything. They gotta have some of the traits. They have to. Yeah. Oh, what y'all talking about over here? I'm listening. Keep talking, baby. Yes, ma'am. I am definitely know my body. Uh-huh. Of 10 years and has learned my body. Yeah, you know,
Yes.
it's something when you have and when you find that right mate. Listen, it's nothing wrong with a woman telling a man. Now we're going to another subject. It's still the same thing. It's nothing wrong with telling a man how you want to be loved. I'm not just talking about physically. It's nothing wrong with telling them that. You should have a relationship where you can talk to a person that's going to be into your space and into you. You should be able to speak about that freely and listen. And he can tell you the same thing. It's okay. You ain't supposed to go fumbling all over each other. Look, you're supposed to tell a person what you want. And they supposed to tell you. Communication is the key to everything. Everything. Not just sex. I'm talking about everything when it comes to a relationship. If you mad, you communicate. How do you communicate? In a peaceful manner. You have to mull over what you're thinking and the subject that you're going to talk about and how you're going to approach the person, what you know that they like, what you know that they don't like. So you have to come at them in a way where they can understand it and won't be offended and the argument be blown out of a proportion. The communication. If you want to have sex, man, with that woman and she may be tired and you want to say something to her and she says, you got to communicate to her and say, well, baby, I know you're tired, but maybe in an hour or so, if I run you a bath and you get a little nap, maybe we still can spend some time together. It's ways to do everything. See? It's
Yes.
ways. And you can live peaceful, right? See?
Okay.
Okay, what you got, Halima?
I love it.
I'm just saying. I'm
I
just saying.
I love it. When we gonna have that? You said we're gonna have a panel to talk about. I want to hear more about the time of the month when the woman's that could change her.
We're gonna have to do we're gonna have to set it up. I told y'all I want us to have a hen party and we
Okay.
gotta set that up. I gotta set
Okay.
it up where we can have a safe space where nothing but women can come in. And I'm trying to tell y'all some of the topics that we will be talking about is going into this direction that I mean we can talk about anything when it comes to women and women issues. I see you, Mo. Look at Mo face. Look, My dog just turned over her toy box and over here in the living room. Now she's looking crazy. But no, this is a safe space where only women can come and women can talk about anything. Just like some of the stuff that we talked about right here about talking to your children and what to give them when you're going on dates and stuff as a single woman. Some of that is a little spill over here. But the hen party will be something deeper. And we needed to set that up because a whole lot of people, I don't know if everybody want to hear it. And some things girls just need to talk about privately first.
I
You see,
agree.
so that they be a better fit when they go home to their men. They'll be in a better mood, and then they can, be happier when they go home. And the men gonna love that we have a hen party. They're gonna be like, damn, when is the next hen party? You can have your wine, a glass of wine, or your popcorn, or your apple juice, or whatever you drink in the comfort of your own home. But we could be on the screen just like this, having intimate conversations one-on-one about all topics. You can hide behind your emoji. You don't have to be seen. You can have on your bathrobe and rollers, whatever. We're gonna have a hen party. Don't that sound like fun?
That sounds like fun. I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think that women of today, we've lost our mystique?
Yes. Hell yes. Yeah. What do a man have to look forward to? We showing every damn thing. They don't have to look forward to nothing. They don't have nothing. They can see you, and we make sure they see us. You don't have nothing covered. Everything out there for the imagination. Clothes are so tight, they see your silhouette. They see everything about you. They do. Only thing they have to do is guess at what color drawers you wearing, or what kind of or if you have on a G-string. That's the only thing. Other than that, they pretty much know who you are. They know who you are. If you listen to men, they can tell you who they want, how they look at you by the way they talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
You would know exactly how a man look at you or think what he think about you by the way he talk to you. I'm talking about even a stranger in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Have you girls know how y'all pass men and they'll say, how you doing? Or someone might not say, just give you a little side eye. Someone might look at you just as an object. And when they're doing that, they be like, damn, I could fuck her. That's what they thinking. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell you what they think. So if a man look at you like that, up and down like that, and they say, damn, she fat, I can fuck her. You need to change your clothes. You need to change your style of wear. You need to carry yourself in a different manner. Because they already done did that. They already done did it. They already done did it to you. I told you, my grandmother and I was going to the store with my great grandma and my great grandpa. They walked down the street to the corner store, but they was dress shopping. I'm skipping along. We're going to get these little popsicles with the Tootsie Roll on the top. That's what my papa liked. And the lady was walking towards us. She was dressed real nice with her little hat on and stuff. And my papa was looking at her, holding my granny's hand. And my great grandmama looked at him and said, Papa, put her clothes back on her.
Mm.
Yes. And I was a little girl. I never forget that. I'm about 7, 8 years old. I never forget that. See? So they'll tell you what they think about you, and they don't have to say a word. Watch them. And then you know what you have to do when it comes to tweaking how you look. And are you dressing for another man or something like that? No. You're just mindful of how you're perceiving yourself to be to someone else. That's why they also said, take down the sign. If you're not a whore, don't dress like a whore.
Mm-hmm.
See? If you're
what about the emotional?
Who are
what
you?
about this? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, baby.
Oh, there's a little feedback, so I wasn't sure if you could hear me.
I can hear you.
What about the mystique? Okay, Frank, this is why I asked this question. Me and my niece, she wanted to go to this place called Pink to get her underwear. It's like right next door to Victoria's Secrets. Mm-hmm. And their dressing room was all full. It was whatever. So we went to the one at Victoria's Secrets. And so my niece went in to try on something. And then there's a young lady came back there. She had her boyfriend went back in the back with her. So I asked the lady, I was like, are you letting grown men come into the, the dressing room? She was they changed the policy. And I'm like, because she was trying on her lingerie. I'm like, why do you have your man in this women and space to come look at you? Why don't you surprise him when you get home? It's like, where's your mystique? It's like, to me, when my niece heard my voice, she heard me. So she said she heard him and got out of the dressing room. But why are you bringing men in the dressing room? Why are you bringing men into conversations that are, we may could have behind the scenes or,
Mm-hmm.
intimate with among sisters? Are we sharing too
Yeah.
much of ourselves? What I'm basically saying.
Yeah,
Not
that's low
specifically.
class. If you ask me, that's low class. Some
Okay.
things, look, because you don't hear everything a man talking about. Together, you don't allow talks that they have. Men shouldn't hear everything that a woman have to say. Women have to say. It's just I don't think that that's cool. And he went back there because I guess he felt like, well, it ain't no big deal. He used to seeing her like that. I don't think that he was To me, I don't blame the guy. I blame her.
I
That's the way she
agree.
carried around him. You know. And another thing, when y'all going out here to these little lingerie shops and trying on lingerie, look, don't put that shit on your ass until you wash it, because somebody trying all that stuff on. Think about it. They
Oh
going in there
yeah,
trying
don't
on
drop in the
lingerie.
underwear. Right.
But I'm
I
just saying,
agree.
some of the women be doing that. They trying on all these underclothes and stuff like that. And then you go and purchase it. Some of y'all don't try them on. Y'all get them, and then you try them on. Look, y'all be careful with buying all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Be careful with how you handle those things, because again, that was a loose goose for him to go back there with her. Maybe he hoped that he could see somebody else back there instead of her when he go back there. Maybe he was looking for a peep show. Who knows?
But I've seen this happen not just in that
Mhm.
situation, but I've seen it in different stores where women are
Uh-huh.
taking their men into the dressing room to see
Uh-huh.
how their outfit look. Like you would take your best friend back in the day. You know what I'm
I see
saying?
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like,
Yeah.
where's your mystique? Where's I just
Yeah.
ooh.
Or maybe he's somebody that's buying the outfit for her, and maybe he wanted to see how it would look on her or whatever. I don't know, but I wouldn't have done that, and I don't think that's appropriate, especially when you have other women in the back dressing, and the person that owned the store or whoever that person is that owned that part of the dressing room, that's in charge. They should have made sure that the gentleman stayed out of there while and she put her little dress on or whatever she buying, and then sashay her ass on out there in the front so everybody else can see her too along with them. They should have done it that way. But nowadays, you got so much stuff going on, the way people are doing things, in these stores, and all the stuff is changing. But I don't think too many women have, they kind of wide open with the men. They're telling them a little bit too much. And the fun part in a relationship is to always tell some and keep some. It's always intriguing if a woman tells some and keeps some. And same with the man. He don't have to tell everything either. You know, yeah, because you have plenty of time to be in a relationship to get to know somebody, and some of the things will come out slowly. So and that's the fun about getting to know one another. If you like dating and stuff like that. Yeah,
Lovely.
what y'all talking about over here? Okay, so y'all, are y'all happy? And did I answer all y'all questions? Because I've been on here a long time, and your thoughts. I would have been gone. But this conversation was a little too deep to be just going off of here. We had too much to talk about. I know I did. I was a little passionate about it.
I appreciate that. I'm so happy to catch you
Yeah.
live.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too. Yeah, I'm glad. But we just need to let me just wrap this up and summarize this right here. Okay,
Mhm.
let's summarize this in one little lump. We got to do better than what we've been doing when it comes to taking care of our children, y'all. We got to pay attention to our children, the males and the females. And if we see something, we say something. We rally
Mhm.
everybody around, and we make sure we take care of that ass that's out of order, and we make sure we get them back into order. Okay, we have to get it back into order and protect our children, and everybody that has breasts and menstruating and hair, and men that got muscles and deep voices, everybody ain't grown. You're not grown until you have your own shit, where you're not relying on any government assistance, and you're out there working a full-time job. You have a roof over your head. You're not asking your parents for not near a dime, no boyfriend, no guy friend, nobody in the streets for nothing to help you maintain your establishment. That's where you dwell in. That's grown folk shit. You have your own insurance and stuff like that, health insurance and all of that. You ain't on no mom and daddy policy. Mom and dad ain't got nothing to do with you, and you taking care of yourself. That's grown folk shit. Okay, all right. And don't go messing with nobody. Like, in my opinion, in my and only mine. This is on my opinion and what I've seen in my life. If somebody's more than 4 years older than your ass, stand down, because you're gonna wind up taking care of their ass in the end. You're gonna be the one with your life cut short, being a caretaker for that person, whether it be a male or a female, right? That's what's going to happen to you. I can let you know that in advance. Just letting you know. If you don't want to be a caretaker, you better not go over that 4 years of age. That would be the maximum if it were me. And it's because I don't seen some shit like that. That's all I'm saying. On more than one time. And for you mamas and you daddies out here that has you in a second relationship, whether you broke up with your husband or even if it was a partner and y'all got children, two sets of different children by different people. Look, don't nobody love your shit no more than you do. The man that you get that's a new guy in the house with the rest of the children that's yours and ain't none of them his, don't nobody love your shit more than you do. Trust no one when it comes to your shit. Don't be paranoid, but just be smart and trust no one with it, right? That's yours. Then don't expect them to love them like you did. Why? Because it wasn't a part of you. Not saying that they can't care for them and love them. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying they don't love them to death like you do. Okay? So know that and then proceed accordingly. Don't let your children sit on uncles, nephews, cousins, brothers, sisters' laps and shit. They strangers, even though they family. Because my father said to these stuff, even a preacher didn't get hard. That's what we were taught. They're humans. You dig? So keep your children off of family members' laps and shit. If you got cousins and relatives coming to spend the night, have a chaperone. Men or male children in one area of the house, female children in the other area of the house, right? Chaperones in each part of those houses, right? If you're going out and have other men that you're gonna be dating and stuff, men, women, make sure there's somebody that's a contact that knows exactly where you're going, what time you plan on being back, give them the driver's license, license plate, all that shit you can get the information on what you dating. Leave it to somebody, more than one person if possible, right? Make sure you do that. Men, do the same shit. If you're going out with a woman and this your first time going out with her, don't take no personal information in your wallet that you don't want her to get a hold of. Because when you break up, she might be a goddamn stalker on your ass and be up there, especially if you're going to cheat on her, which you probably just going to hit it or whatever. Whatever your intentions is, don't have all your information where she can get her hands on after you had that little 5 or 10 minutes of that orgasm and you don't fell asleep and she rumbling through your wallet. Okay? And most importantly, keep your hands off of other people's shit. If you have an instinct about that person that you're dating, and you think that he belonged to somebody, meaning dating them, or married to them, or living together, I don't give a shit if he's telling you he's sleeping on the sofa, right? And I don't care. And men, I don't care if the woman telling you that we done broke up a month ago and we divorced and we getting the paperwork on the way. Leave that shit alone. This is a big world. The real person is out here for you. That person is out here is no hurry. And if you got 1 or 2 things on your checklist, and that man come on 1 or 2 or 3 of these things on your checklist that you see what a man is, go ahead with him. That's your best shot. Same with you fellas. If you can see at least 3 things that woman got, work with that ass and keep it moving. That's your thoughts of the day. All right. I'm going to love y'all and I'm going to leave y'all. Y'all like that?
Wow, I love you.
I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all all for coming. And I'm happy that you guys came through. And we are definitely going to have a hen party coming soon. I can promise you that. That's going to happen. That's going to happen because we need it. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. And again, y'all, I want y'all to know this won't for no 1 or 2 people. This is for everybody. This message is for everybody. Right? It's because everybody has some stuff in their life where they done went through some shit. And, you know, trials, tribulations, problems, or had some of the things that I talked to you guys about. So don't take this shit out of context and get ignorant with this. Just know that I'm talking to everybody, because everybody have a story and everybody knows somebody that did some bullshit like what I was talking about. Okay? All right. Again, I love you guys and y'all have a good day and I'm going to see y'all the next time. Peace, everybody. Peace. Peace. Thanks again for coming. Hit the like button on the way out, y'all. I appreciate it. Bushwashers, y'all too. I do appreciate y'all coming. I promise I do. Keep coming. Keep coming. I love to see y'all here. Okay. Bye, y'all.